Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Bethany, and here at The Curated Feminine we explore all things womanhood, from feminine energy through to relationships and communication. Everything that you need to be the best possible version of yourself, we explore here. So today we're going to be looking at why dressing well will actually get you really far ahead in life. And there's a real science behind this. This is something that has been explored. This is something that has been researched in actual research facilities. There's a lot of knowledge to back up the whole idea that the way that you dress will get you further ahead in life. Now, if you're like the late Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, you don't need to, but they're an outlier. They're like the not even 1%. Most people are not tech geniuses. Most people do not have the knowledge base behind them to flex with like just a t-shirt. Most of us need to dress in a way that helps us to feel confident when we're entering rooms and also helps others to perceive us better. So I'll take you through the actual scientific reasoning behind that. So the first is confirmation bias. And that is the idea that whatever our preconceived notions are, our brain will try really hard to confirm whatever those preconceived notions are. So if you say something like, it's cold season, there's colds going around everywhere, and then somebody sneezes next to you, you're gonna be like, aha, I told you, everybody has a cold right now. Now, is that true? Probably not. Maybe they just sneezed because they had an allergy or they inhaled a bit of dust, right? But because you thought colds are everywhere right now and somebody sneezed, you're automatically biased towards your own opinion. It's the same thing with dressing. If you walk into a room and you are, so like this dress right now, for example, I would never wear in a business meeting. I would with maybe one of my coaching clients because it's a woman-to-woman interaction, but I would not wear this in a highly professional setting. And the reason why is there's cleavage going on. I've got all of my arms out, and the feeling that my dress would give is one that's like a little bit sexier and not necessarily professional. And that's not what I want to be perceived as in more professional settings. You get to control how you are perceived by others to an extent, right? So this is about controlling the controllables. If somebody has confirmation bias against like all women and thinks that women can't do their job properly, it doesn't matter how you dress, they're still going to perceive you that way. But for most normal people, if you dress in a way that accentuates what persona you are trying to embody, it's going to get you a lot further. If you're in a professional setting and you dress professionally, you're going to be perceived as professional. If you're out on a date and you want to be perceived as somebody who's a little bit more fun, a little bit more sensual, you might wear a dress like this, right? So the way that you dress has a huge impact on the way that other people perceive you because of confirmation bias. And the next thing is categorization. And if you've been following me here for a while, you've heard me talk about this before, but we like to categorize things. And the reason why, and this is very unfair, mind you, this is part of human psychology. There's not really much that we can do to change that because we are biologically inclined to be this way. But we put things into broad categories. We generalize all the time. And the reason we do that is we are processing so many different things at once. Like, did I pay my electricity bill? Did I get back to my girlfriend? Oh my God, I definitely didn't text back. Did I put the water on to boil for pasta tonight? It's like we're thinking about so many different things that our brain is processing too much information. So it has to categorize things generally. And oftentimes it also keeps us safe. If you've been hurt by a certain kind of person that dresses a certain way before, your brain is trying to keep you safe. So next time you see a person dressed like that, you're going to think that person might be aggressive, that person might hurt me. Same with if you have had friends in the past who dressed in, let's say, like a really preppy, cute way, and they ended up backstabbing you, your brain will try to protect you by having alarm bells go off next time somebody that dresses like that tries to get close. So is it fair? No. And is it accurate? No. But your job in order to get yourself further ahead in life is to mitigate all of the risks that come with humans being humans. So the very fact that we do that in the first place, the fact that we categorize, means that you can either complain about it and be a victim and feel like everybody's going to judge you for dressing a certain way, and so you're just not going to play the game. Or you can choose to participate. And when you participate, you dress in a way that feels really good and authentic for you, but also prevents you from being placed into these really broad categories that can prevent you from getting opportunities. So even if it's a them problem and not a you problem, if you're not playing the game, you're missing out. And they've taken all of these things, confirmation bias and categorization, and studied them in labs. And what they found is if you put people in certain outfits, they perceive themselves a very different way too. So this isn't just about how other people perceive you. You perceive yourself differently when you dress a certain way. It instantly changes your mood. There's something called dopamine dressing, which is really important. If you dress in certain ways, you can raise your levels of happiness for the day. You can also change the way that you feel in terms of how professional or intelligent or sensual you feel based on your outfit, because you are also judging yourself. So you get to use that to your advantage. But they did a study called the white lab coat experiment, and what they found is if they put students in white lab coats, they perform better on tests because white lab coats are associated with intelligence and authority. So their brain figured, if I'm wearing this, I must be smart enough, and therefore I'm going to remember information easier and process information better. So this isn't just about how other people perceive you. You also get to control the narrative of your day based on how you choose to dress, which is powerful. And again, this is like taking you from victim mindset, nobody should be judging me, I shouldn't have to do it, to, okay, but I also judge myself because I'm a human being and this isn't something that I can change, so I'm going to dress in a way that empowers me. And that brings me to my next point, which is the two most common excuses that I hear women give themselves and others for not dressing well. And the first goes back to, oh, but it's not fair. And it's like, yeah, it's not fair, but you're making life more unfair on yourself by choosing not to dress in a way that makes you feel good, by choosing not to dress in a way that will help your first impression go a really long way. It's like you can acknowledge that something isn't fair without totally opting out of that part of life. And the other thing that I see often is this really big fear of being seen. And the reason we have that is when you dress well, you will get attention. And if you have all of your own sticky feelings of unworthiness still in place, you're going to really struggle with that attention. But if you choose to utilize that attention and know how to use it to your advantage in a good way, and I'm not talking about manipulating people, but if you get attention for dressing well and then you have doors that are opened for you, or you have, certain deals that go through because your first impression was that you were highly professional or highly trustworthy, or even if you take really good care of yourself, that in and of itself says if this person invests in themselves, then this person will probably take care of this project that we're considering working with her on, or this opportunity that we're considering involving her in. When you take care of yourself, it gives the perception that you take care of other things in your life just as well as you do yourself. And if you're too busy being afraid of being seen, of trying to tone down how you look because you don't want others to see you, you're literally holding yourself back from the maximum amount of opportunities that you can have in life. And a lot of that comes down to not trusting yourself and how you'll respond. If you feel like if you dress in a certain way you're going to get hit on, you have to trust that you're going to know what to do if somebody hits on you. If you feel like you can't dress a certain way because you'll be given too much responsibility and you won't know what to do with it, then you need to do all of the inner work possible to regain your trust in yourself, to trust your own intuition and your knowledge and your intelligence and everything else, that you know that when you do get the attention that will come with dressing well, you're going to know what to do with it in the first place. And all of that, the root core of it comes down to confidence in the first place. So this is where the external, like how you dress, meets inner work. And I'll give you an example of that. I had a meeting so I do IT recruitment during the day, and I had a meeting with one of my clients, and towards the end, he said to me, very inappropriately, oh, don't you worry that if you wear red lipstick at work, you'll be perceived as being a bimbo. And I said, no. And the reason why is because I trust that my intelligence is strong enough, that my ability to deliver and do my job well is strong enough that anybody who has that issue, it's a them problem, not a me problem. And this is where, yes, people are going to judge you for dressing certain ways or being certain ways. But if you are too busy holding yourself back instead of dressing in a way that you know is professional or sexy or beautiful or well taken care of, whichever persona you're wanting to embody at that one given time, if you choose not to fully, wholeheartedly go for it in those different categories. And on that note, when you do dress a certain way, you will get more attention. But you don't do it because you want to get attention, you do it because you want to get more opportunities, right? And if you have a huge fear of being seen, the root core of that is that you don't trust that you'll know what to do with the attention that you might get, whether it's positive or negative. And that's where inner work meets kind of the outer looks, the outer shell, if you will. So if you can get to a point where you trust that you'll know how to respond, that you have your wits about you, that you have confidence in your own levels of intuition and intelligence and charisma and everything else, if you can learn how to trust that particular side of you, you're not going to sit there worrying about being seen, because you'll know that you'll know what to do with the attention that you garner from dressing the way that you're wanting to be perceived as. The way that you dress has a huge implication on your feminine energy as well, which is very interesting. So you've heard me speak before on this channel about dark feminine energy. The easiest way to slip into dark feminine energy before you've done all of the inner work required to bring that side of yourself out, that confident, worthy, side of yourself that really backs yourself, before you do all of the inner work required for that, if you start dressing the part, if you start imagining what a woman who is extremely confident, who understands her own worthiness, who knows what she brings to the table, if you start dressing like that, of your perception of that, that instantly puts you into that place because of what I just spoke about before, right? If you look at the white lab coat experiment, you're telling yourself that you are the way that you're dressing. Your brain instantly perceives that because of confirmation bias, because it has to convince itself that whatever you're doing, whatever you're dressing as, is actually what you are. The brain likes to simplify things. It wants to be correct. It wants to confirm its own beliefs. So if you dress in the way that you're wanting to be perceived, your own self-perception changes as well, which is brilliant. It's like life hack 101 that nobody ever taught you. And my last point on all of this, on the power of dressing well and the way that it gets you more opportunities, is when you invest time in your appearance, your brain has to confirm why you're doing that in the first place. Again, it goes back to confirmation bias over and over and over again, like a big circle. But if you are spending time taking care of your hair, eating well as well, which has an effect on how you look, right? Your skin glows differently when you're having your avocados and your good fats and all of that. Same thing with when you are taking the time to moisturize your skin and, go get a massage to relax your shoulders if you need to. All of the bits that you do to invest in yourself means that your brain has to tell itself it's worthy of those things. It's like if you're having a bad day and you go do something for yourself, you instantly feel better, not just because you did the self-care, but because of what the self-care means. Your brain has to confirm why you're worthy of doing those things in the first place. You can't sit there and do nice things for yourself without your brain understanding that, okay, if I'm doing the nice things, that means I deserve it because I'm a human being, because I work hard and I'm kind and I'm authentic and I do good things for other people. So I get to do things like take care of myself. And even without all of that, you should be doing those things in the first place because it is a full circle. When you do it, it starts to raise your confidence, which means you can do more good in the world, and on it goes. But the point is, when you choose to invest time into yourself, into your appearance, into the way that you present yourself to the world, when you choose to do things like research what your color season is and research what your body type is and what looks really good and delicious on your own particular body type, when you look at what kind of haircut really frames your beautiful face well, when you put the research into doing all of those things instead of telling yourself like, oh, it's just silly and I don't need those things, what you're really telling yourself is, I don't deserve to look and feel my best. And so your brain will confirm that for you by other means. But if you do put the actual time and energy into looking after yourself, your brain has to confirm why. And that's a very beautiful thing. If the story that you're telling yourself is, I take care of myself because I'm worthy, because I choose to, because I deserve this and I get to, it changes the way that you show up in life. So it instantly raises your confidence. And confident, charismatic women that dress well get more opportunities. Is it fair? No, but this isn't about fair. This is about life hacks. This is about playing the game of life and doing it in the most beautiful way that gets you the most opportunities possible. Because the more opportunities you have, the more goodness you can do in the world. If you're sitting there like a ball and you're lacking in confidence, you're not reaching out to other people, you're not building networks, you're not building connections, you're not doing your best at your role, yada, yada, on and on it goes, then how much goodness in the world can you actually really do? Like, honestly. But if you are properly looking after yourself and therefore also having an overflowing cup to look after others, you can bring more goodness into the world than if you weren't doing those things. Which is why dressing well gives you more opportunities in life than you can possibly imagine. Thank you ladies so much for watching. If you're curious about this conversation going to the next level, I actually did a live on this on Instagram with Simone Monet, who is a brilliant color analyst. I also have a discount code for working for her in my Queen Energy course, by the way. So if you do want to get a color analysis and invest in yourself properly, you can go there. Otherwise, you can also look at my Queen Energy course, which takes you through all of the inner work and then gets you to the point where we talk about style and dressing and the importance of it. And it goes to the next level beyond what I just spoke about here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.